Welcome to another segment of the Word for Today. And the word for today is prayer. The Bible tells us in Philippians chapter 4 verse 6, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God." When God created man and placed him in the garden, before the fall, prayer was not a part of man's lifestyle. Adam and Eve had the privilege of speaking to God face to face. After sin came into the picture, it placed a wall between the divine and the human. And make no mistake, God kept on finding ways to communicate with mankind because he wanted to. Prayer is really about man communicating with God. Prayer is also important in finding out God's will for your life. Steps to Christ, page 93, tells us prayer is the opening of the heart to God as a friend. Not that it is necessary in order to make known to God what we are, but in order to enable us to receive Him. Prayer does not bring God down to us, but it brings us up to God. Prayer is not about informing God about what He does not know, because He knows everything. But when a human being decides to reach out to God through prayer, that is, talk to God, it is a powerful indication that he or she believes that God is here, that God hears, and that God answers prayer. Most importantly, one acknowledges that God cares. Sometimes a person may not be capable of giving you what you are in need of, but just knowing they care is big enough encouragement for you to know that you're not alone. I say today, God cares. Paul states, "Be careful for nothing." The Greek word for careful states to be anxious, to be troubled with cares. Be not anxious. With a weapon such as prayer at our disposal, there is no reason to be overwhelmed with our problems. Yes, you will be worried about your problems, but having prayer in your arsenal means your worries would not overwhelm you. There is something comforting about knowing that God has our back. We live in uncertain times, and many are worried. Frontline workers who have family members at home are worried about contracting and transmitting the virus to their family members. Those who are sick are worried they will not make it. Matthew 6:27 says, "Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit onto your stature?" The point Jesus was making here was worrying doesn't solve the problem. Why worry when you can pray? It may seem simple, but I want to encourage all frontline workers and those who are sick to reach out to God by prayer. And I encourage all of us to join in praying for them. Paul said by prayer and supplication. Listen, prayer by itself is a powerful word, but when partnered with supplication is doubly strong. So we are not just asked to whisper a passing prayer, but the Greek word for supplication says a seeking, an asking, entreating. We are being called upon to entreat God. Let me at this point make a confession. I really don't know how prayer works. I know it works, but I can't put my finger on the how. David prayed for his sick child to be recovered, and his sick child died, and David still praised the Lord. Hezekiah prayed to God, who had said to him, "You will lose your life." Hezekiah prayed to God that his life will not be lost, and his life was not lost. The people back then prayed together for the release of Peter from the prison, and he was released. I might not have the science down pat, but I can tell you, my friend, prayer works. To those who are anxious or worried, today we are instructed by 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, "Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you." Through prayer, cast all your cares on Jesus today. There is something powerful about a set of people coming together to pray for the same thing. I say it moves God in such mysterious ways. Let us today join together and pray for the end of COVID-19. The word for today is prayer.